Tell everybody who you are in your own words.
Yeah, I'm Elaine. My real name is Darnyelle. And I do non-emergency medical transport.
Okay.
So I also do commercial and residential cleaning. I'm trying to get into consulting.
Okay.
About all that I know to do.
So do you want to help people start transportation companies and cleaning companies, or do you want to do, you do?
I do.
Okay. Okay, and so what's your biggest challenge right now?
Pricing and giving away the bag. I mean, $3.99 is the problem overall. And I'm just putting together all of these steps to do things orderly for marketing. I need to stop shortchanging. I mean, finding like the short, quick step to get things done. I need to stop doing that because I try to balance family and all my daily stuff and try to squeeze things in, and I'm leaving stuff out.
Okay.
And I'm hurting myself because I'm really overworked.
Okay. Yeah, so whenever you're giving too much stuff away, it's a deserve level thing. You don't believe you deserve it, so you just give it to them. Because you don't want to take the chance that they will say to you, it's not worth it. And so rather than hear that, you just give it away. And it's the same thing when you put too much in your programs. You give them everything and the kitchen sink because you don't think it's worth it. And you figure that if you just give them everything that you have, it increases the value, but it actually doesn't. All it does is further downplay your worthiness. In case you didn't know that. All right. And so, so these people, they already be in business or they'll be looking to start. So they're brand spanking new.
The people who I'm going to consult, they're both. They want to get in, and some of them are doing their own, but not really on the scale to really do more.
Okay, so what I like about both of these businesses is that these people have access to funding. So they have access to capital. They can get loans to start both of these types of businesses, which makes it easier for you to be able to consult with them. Depending on the track that you want to go on, you can actually reach out to angel investors, and as well as angel investors, you can do like the state and government subsidized programs and offer yourself as a part of the process to help to make sure that they get the funding that they want. So for instance, what it would look like is that you would develop a program and you would go to, in Delaware, they call it the Delaware Economic Development Office. And DEDO is responsible for bringing new companies that are going to create jobs, because both of these will create jobs, to the state of Delaware, and they have a lot of set-asides and different things that they can do. The problem that they always have is they are looking for consultants to be able to help these people do what they need to do to write a business plan the right way so that they can get approved for the funding that is necessary to be able to become one of the companies that's under the arm of the Economic Development Office. So you could establish a relationship with, in your city, those offices. And in so doing, you're going to have to figure out what their process is, because everybody has a different process for how they bring on consultants, but it's one of those things where they can never have enough. And that could be one way that you could get paid to be able to do this work. That's always going to be the easiest way, because they need to write a business plan that is financeable in order to be able to get access to funding. Now, depending upon the state and sometimes the municipality, that determines how much they give. I know in the state of Delaware, so that's the only thing I can tell you about. In the state of Delaware, they will give between $100,000 and $250,000 in initial funding based on the business plan. And the business plan is what you would be consulting them to write. Taking all your years of experience and what you've been able to do to help them to create a plan, and then showing them how to make their pitch presentation to the investors as well as the bank representatives. Some of these loans may be SBA backed, so you want to also make sure that you establish a relationship with your local SBA office. They need to know who you are. They need to know what you do. They need to know how you're available. They need to know about your business because they may also have the opportunity to send people to you that could go through these programs, right? Depending upon your state, because some women's business centers and some small business development centers don't work with these types of businesses. So it opens up the door for you to be able to step in and be able to help them. And with this funding that they have, you can set it up when, as they're getting the funding, your fee comes out of their funding. So your fee can be from 10% to 15% because that's the typical range. So that's anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000, or on the high end, anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 that you could get paid to help them through this process just by doing it. Now, what you're going to have to do in order to be able to make it happen is you're going to have to establish relationships. This won't start tomorrow. So you're going to have to get out and you're going to have to start networking. You're going to have to set up meetings with your local SBA. You want to set up meetings with business bankers, and you want to find local angel investors. There could be an angel investing group in your area that specializes in African American companies. You want to do all of that research. Once you figure that out, then you want to connect with them. Look and see if they're on LinkedIn. Look and see what organizations they belong to, what boards they're on. Go to those places where they are so that they can get to know you. It takes on average for a person to see you 8 to 10 times for them to be like, oh, Elaine, right, she's a consultant that works specifically for commercial and residential cleaning companies and non-medical transportation companies. Bet. So that means you're going to have to consistently show up. So whatever you might need to work out at home to make sure that you have coverage for your son or whatever the case may be. I know he's almost at the age where he can take care of himself, but you need to put all those things in place because you need to be out there. They need to know you. That thing on that slide that talked about building relationships, that's important. As you build out these relationships, at first it's just about meeting them, connecting with them, checking in with them, constantly showing up, volunteering yourself. Not necessarily to do this work for them, but if they're having an event and they need somebody to stand at the door and smile as everybody comes in, you're the woman for the job so that they can get to know you so that eventually they can start passing opportunities for you. Your sales cycle in order to be able to make this happen is probably going to be 9 to 12 months before you'll be ready. But in that time, you'll also be creating the process that you take people through to create their business plan. You'll be helping to create the presentation that they're going to give to be able to do a pitch in order to be able to actually go before an investor or a financial banking board in order to get the funding that they want for their business plan. You'll be preparing all of that stuff so that once the door is open and the market is available for you to start doing it, you're actually ready and everything's going on. But in front of the scenes, you're talking about this. If you want to, in addition to building those relationships, you can start getting yourself booked to speak. So you're looking for conferences for people who are looking to start businesses but don't know what kind of businesses to start. People who are thinking about franchises as an example, because each of these could be franchised in as well as starting their own. Those are the places you want to look to get yourself booked to speak. Your talk title might be something like 5 things every aspiring business owner needs to do if they want to start a non-medical transport company or a commercial or residential cleaning company, something like that. You also want to look at community centers and libraries, because you could start holding information events in these places and they won't charge you anything to do it, and they'll do all of the marketing and advertising. They'll fill the room for you, but you just have to do them for free. So you can do info sessions. And in doing those info sessions, you could also get people to come straight into your program. Now, the programs, it would still be $10K, right? So it still would be 10% of what they could get if they're getting access to funding, because you might have some people who have money that don't need to go the traditional funding route, that are ready, that want somebody to help them to write their business plan. Writing a business plan is like writing a book. It's like a ghostwriting activity. That's why it needs to be at least 10K. So you could be doing that in the interim from holding these intro events, and at the intro event, enrolling people to have a conversation with you. Because typically if you're doing an event at a library or community center and it's free, you can't sell anything, but you can get them to sign up for a discovery session with you. And when they do that discovery session, then you can enroll them in your $10,000 program. My time is up. Do you feel like you got a makeover for your business?
Like I'm free.
Awesome. Give her a round of applause.